Hare Krishna. Omagyantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. My voice is little low. You can increase your volume. There is one question, why we should, like Mataji was asking, you can worship Raghavendra Swami and then you get your things cleared and then you can do devotional service. The one of the problem in that is whole life will have some problem or other. That means whole life we end up in worshipping some demigod to get our things cleared. That is a problem. Because there is never a time that we will not have something. Sometimes financial crisis, sometimes health crisis, sometimes relationship. Every demigod has something to give us. In that way, we will always remain, how do you say, distracted from focusing on Krishna. That will be the another disadvantage in going. We can go to doctors, we can go little bit of here and there for simple things. But demigods, there is a difference in going to doctor and demigods is uh, doctor we can put faith, but we know he has some limitations. And we don't treat him as that all in all. That level of faith is not needed. But when we come to demigods, then there is some level of higher level of faith we keep, which is not favorable. Means we give our heart to demigods, which is most dangerous. Our heart should be reserved only for Krishna. Now people put Ganapati and now they do so much. Then there is next season comes Navaratri and after that Ayappa comes and in here Hyderabad so many comes like that. And now people don't know whom to give heart. And Ganpati comes, they give heart to Ganpati, and then they're very much devoted to Ganpati. And then Navaratri comes, then Durga comes into picture, and then Shivratri comes. Then they put so much songs on Lord Shiva. Of course, in between you get Republic Day and Independence Day, then they become so much devoted to nation also. They become so much patriotic. They give their heart to the country, and then then, of course, there are also film actor, actresses whom they give their heart already. So many people they give heart. It don't work anywhere. Only where it works is with Krishna. That's why Sukadeva Goswami is telling. And interestingly, no acharyas gave any commentary on. You may remember which demigod already Sukadeva Goswami mentioned. If you want to increase your bank balance, whom to worship? I know many might have already remembered the name of the demigod. So that means what? We already have some this type of tendency are there for us. That is why this is recommended. Ganpati, he didn't mention only. It's for unfortunate for all these Ganpati worshippers. Sukadeva Goswami did not mention his name in Bhagavatam. List of all demigods whom to worship. He didn't mention Ganpati. Anyway, the point is this demigod worship. There are some things we need to understand the fundamental things. Then we will be very clear what exactly we want. Then we'll not have much problem here. There are some things which we need to understand. There are some things which we need to uh, follow, and then it will be helpful. Uh, there should be some discipline. Then our goal should be very clear, and we'll be able to achieve. Without discipline, it is not possible. You go here and there everywhere. It won't work like that. Very focused, properly disciplined. And this is actually what is told in astrology also. Even though it is explained what is happening, but if you can see how their manifestation of Supreme Lord, it becomes very easy. How he is the cause of all causes. This is the name of this chapter. If there is a change in the heart, then the next chapter is very easy. Because change in the heart means what? We discussed previously. You are able to accept every situation as the cause of Lord. I'll give little technical information. like This I have told this, but I'll just give two, three more additional points to it. The earlier childhood, na, this foundation of human personality are laid. Everything that a person learns is in the earlier childhood. It is goes very deep into chitta, and chitta is like our hard drive, which makes our personality. And then we put up the barriers above all this. There is false ego. Now everything which we receive in this world is more or less filtered through false ego only, and all the information hardly process. uh, and actually we cannot overcome our false ego. Based on our false ego only, we receive the information and we try to understand them. That's why the what happens is these barriers of false ego, na, they create certain mentality in us, and to change is very difficult. What am I doing? What do I care? How do I solve my problems? All these things are based on that only. And because I have these problems in mind, I cannot hear anything, because I always think they offended me, they hurt me, something like this. So many waves are going in the mind. Like recently one person came to meet me, one devotee. He said I was not recommended for initiation. And he's very sincere. He does so much service, and every day he does service, but he does not attend classes regularly. That's why their criteria of the temple is he should attend classes regularly. And I was thinking it should not be criteria like that, because bhakti is not just Shravanam. Na? You can have bhakti in another forms also, and it's short to bhakti. And if you see that person is dedicated for any of these limbs, he should be qualified and accepted. But somehow they set one standard and they are applying the same standard for all. He is not fit for it, and he got offended. But somehow he managed with some other place, some other temple, he got the recommendation. That is another problem. But the point, what I am telling is, when he came, then he started telling, Broji, they said they will give me, and then said I am not qualified, this, that. And he got so much negativity. Now, this is a very simple example you all hear. When you squeeze a lemon, lemon juice comes. No matter how much hard you squeeze, mango juice don't come. Similarly, if you squeeze a person, if he goes through a problem, if hatred is coming, anger is coming, envy, jealous, and so much negativity is coming, that means that is what in our heart. When we are going through problems, that is where when we are tested, what exactly is there in our heart. We need to know, oh, this is some somebody scolded you, and if you feel very grateful, that means gratitude is there in the heart. Somebody scolded or made some wrong statement on you, if you are becoming negative, that means so much negativity is there in our heart. That is the change of heart we are now. Because one must enter, this is the state of mind. When we hear that Krishna is God, and I think, oh, so what? What am I doing with that? How do I care? This is what the mentality of the people is. They don't understand only the false ego, the mind, everything. Now, just some important points I want to share. This will help you. Like, what is Parasharmani says this in astrology. And there are three important things that affects three levels actually, on which is our personality is based on. And first is like what comes from previous life, which we don't have any effect. But the second is the relation. Second one is the association, and the third is the, uh, of course, our upbringing. So three things: the stars. Now, from the very beginning, the foundation is laid, how a person is there. So it is, Chanakya Pandit also says this, the first 4 or 5 years of the child are very important. Why it is important? Because even he says, like lalayet bahavo dosha, thadayet bahavo guna. If you so much pamper the child, he will become a villain. Or whichever country citizen you don't like, he may become American or Israeli or whatever, Indian or some person he will become. If you so much pamper him. But tadayet baho guna. If you are very strict, if you discipline, then he will develop all good qualities. Tasmat putrasya shishyasya. This is applicable for the child. This is applicable for the disabled. So this is a very important understanding. A person from childhood, from very beginning, he should have these important lessons. Lesson of discipline. Now, otherwise, people are nowadays this trend is so much coming. This is the one of the symptom of Kali Yuga. Is people are children are so much pampered. They cannot control children only. They cry for mobile. They cry for these things. They don't even ask. They only say, "My call school told that we need to go for a trip, and you pay the money." And they are not coming for asking permission for parents. They already decided they are going, and they say you pay for it. And no Malaysia trip they are planning, and then parents don't have anything because they did not train in that way. And therefore, from the childhood only, if they are not receiving this discipline, then they will happily turn into robbers or whatever. This is a parampara of all this, whatever generation they are coming. No spiritual intelligence, no discipline, nothing. They just want to enjoy in this life. They're just coming to become a good enjoyer of sense gratifier. And they're trained nicely in the school and in the colleges. And then they are perfectly fit to enjoy this material world and to happily go to hell. That's all. But why this is important? Because uh, there are two things, discipline and love, no? They are parallel. They go together. It is not separate. This is a very important understand. Otherwise, they become dysfunctional, completely unable to do anything spiritually. The foundation is should of all the foundation should be love. The strictness and love are completely inseparable to each other. If somebody, it is not that you love means you are not strict. No, it is not like that. You can, because there is a two energies of our life, and that ultimately educate a person, love and strictness. Also, there is energy of forgiveness or acceptance. These two are also energies which will help a person to come out. In spite of everything, we should accept a person. How can, and now how this is connected, but that it is not that because we love, we allow everything. No, it is without rejecting or accepting, without rejecting, we accept the person. But in astrology, there are two good symbols. There are two, there are Ahankara chakra, heart chakra. Sorry, Anharat chakra. This is, it is a chakra of love. There are two houses, Venus and uh, there is a house of Venus, and then there is Saturn. Actually, in the house of Venus, there is uh, Saturn or ascend in if Tarus, sorry, if there is ascend of Saturn or Moon. This is there are these two planets, Moon and Saturn are important. Of course, Venus also of heart. Moon and Saturn. Moon represents mother, Saturn represents father. And two most striking manifestation of love in human life. What is that? One is personification is moon. Moon is mother. It gives complete absolute acceptance of man. That is what is needed from moon, acceptance. Sometimes wife they will accept children whatever mischief they do, but they don't accept husband, because that is what is needed for man. And then second is Saturn. Saturn is actually, this is very strict. It is harsh father who does not allow anything, and he generally scolds or disciplines. And father teaches humility. And unless a person learns humility, father is very strict. And he wants that there is submission. So Saturn is actually a very great planet. It generally stays 19 years in the life of person. And this is the most fruitful period in human life, because this is the time people are afraid of Saturn because it will not allow you much sense gratification. There is this is a very tough time for people. Why they fail with Saturn is they don't understand that I need to be humble and I need to accept this causes of all causes is in Krishna. And some troubles, people go through troubles. This is what is needed. Because if person go through trouble, then he will change himself. The change is not the external change, the internal change. This is this depends on how a person is brought up in his childhood. And to understand Krishna, mind should become very chaste. That's why we don't go to any demigods. You can go to Ganpati, see how they decorated, because if you don't go, your neighbors may get upset. So that we need to keep our mind very chaste and concentrate on Krishna. That is why what one can, that should be received from the beginning. And yeah. Now we'll just do few purports, which are also very important, because this chapter itself is very important. The cause of all causes. It is a change in the heart, transformation. Any questions? Whatever we discussed? I'm not very good in astrology. Don't ask any astrology. I just telling some things. Yes, Kalanidhi bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Then
This example, what you gave about squeezing a lemon and getting a mango juice out of it. So I think that's a very good way to take a feedback about ourselves. So it can be done any day, any minute, any time of the day. I can see myself, how I am responding to the situations around me. I think that the self-test is, I think it has such amazing power, because I can very clearly see how I am changing over time with practicing Krishna consciousness, how I interpret events around me, how I interpret people's behaviors around me, how I interpret the reaction, what I get to my action, everything. I think it steadily gets transformed with Krishna consciousness. So I think that is one litmus test I think we can suggest to all devotees. You don't have to go and ask anyone, am I making progress, Prabhu? Is my life improving? Am I becoming Krishna conscious? I think this one test, because it's going to be gradual. It's not that today I am like this and tomorrow I am like that. No, it is going to be a gradual process. And I can very clearly see, am I on the right path? Am I moving in the right direction? That much I can very clearly know for myself. That way, thank you very much. I don't know, I have heard this example in the past also, but somehow it struck me very much today that, yeah, this is the way I can study myself on an ongoing basis. Thank you, Guru. Hare Krishna.
you are always in a learning mood. Everything will touch your heart very fast. That is the qualification. This is what we need to remember. Like whenever I'm becoming angry, that is what is there inside. Yeah, thank you, bro. Now, there are two connections. Don't forget this chapter. Transformation of heart and cause of all causes. They are connected. If our heart is transforming, then we are always understanding everything is arranged by Krishna only. Very simple. To know that my heart changed, you should remember these two chapters name. And that is third and fourth chapter of second chapter. Now we'll see what is the uh, fourth and fifth chapters. Fourth and fifth chapters. And fifth chapter is cause of all causes. See, Narada Muni asked Brahmaji. Now, why Brahma and Narada came? Because Sukadeva Goswami is referring to the conversation between Narada and Brahma. He is not telling. Parikshit Maharaj asked, tell me about how this material world is created. And he didn't ask about Krishna's Raslila pastime. He's asking Srishti Leela only. And then Sukadeva Goswami is telling, yeah, this is a conversation. Narada asked the same question to Brahmaji. And this is a very important discussions. The chief among the demigods, or foremost firstborn living being, living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me the transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of individual soul and super soul. So this is the very important question. Which knowledge which will specifically direct one to the truth of individual soul and super soul. So what is Mayavadi philosophy? How they I will I will give you the hint of Mayavada, but don't get contaminated. Want to give that knowledge for you, how they interpret. What they do is they say that there is a Paramatma in the heart, every living entity. There are no two things, there is only one thing. And they say that there is mind. And we go from one body to another body because of mind. Once you purify the mind, then there is no existence of mind only because it is freed. No desires, nothing. Once the mind is freed, then there is only one thing remaining. What is that? The soul, which is universal soul. You enter into that soul. If you didn't understand, don't worry. Someone understood. What they say, there are not two things. There is only one thing. That is the soul, which is there in all. And why we go from one body to another body? Because of the mind. Now that is true also. Mind takes the impressions of mind takes you from one body to another body. So mind is taking. Once you remove all the impressions from the mind, then what remains is the soul only. That is the universal soul remains. That is the mind. If you didn't understand, so don't worry. If somebody is little bit logical brain, they understood that philosophy of. But we say no, there are two souls. One is Paramatma, one is Atma. That is the difference. And very good section to refute this is 15th chapter, last 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Anytime you want to fight with or any argument or anything you want to do with Mayavadis or you want to convince yourself against Mayavadi, just read the last 4 verses of 15th chapter. Dvaimo Purusho Loka Akshara Akshare Vacha. This is the translations itself. You need not remember the shloka. If you just read the translations also, it's so clear. No need to worry about it. Krishna makes it very clear. Uttama Purushastu Anyaha. There is supreme person separate. Very clear. Maybe some other time we will discuss also. Now we'll see the purport. Prabhupada says, yes, skill Mataji, hopefully not on Mayadi.
I'm going to disappoint you, Prabhu. You know, they say that there's only the universal soul in everybody, but there's the mind.
Yeah.
So if the mind becomes purified, then whose mind? It can't be the mind of the super soul, because that would mean that the mind of the universal soul is corrupted. How could that be?
Yeah,
Where
Mataji,
is the mind?
not in that philosophy. I cannot, I cannot support them. I only support you. I am not
Yeah, I mean,
supporting their philosophy.
no, I know, but it just seems like a glaring fault to me that you know
Yeah, there are
if
so many
if
faults
there is
in their philosophy. That is true. But there is because na they have their Ardhaku Patanya, they take some parts of the shlokas and they prove their point. That is the problem with them. They only take which shlokas will fit their philosophy and they interpret in their own way. They don't take direct meaning also. That's maybe
yeah
some Saturday morning sections will have only on my own.
yeah you know I mean I was just wondering, you know, if there's only super soul in the heart, you know, then whose mind has to be purified, right?
Yeah, it is true.
I mean, it can only be the super soul's mind. Who else's mind if there's only the super soul there in the heart?
Yeah, some individual living entities, they are given some part of the mind from the original mind. I don't know. Means I am not supporting them. That is bogus philosophy only. I don't know what they argue for
Okay.
this.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Prabhu. I just had to ask because it seemed like such a glaring
Maybe we will have one
question.
section. I think we have one ISKCON Prabhupada disabled. He has one seminar on Mayavada and 5-day seminar.
Oh no, I'd rather do seminar on something else. That's okay. I thought this was just simple thing, Anyway,
I don't know
okay,
what they argue for
it's
this.
okay. That's okay, Prabhu. Better to spend time on other things.
Bhagavatam.
Yeah, right. Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, Kalanidhi Prabhu says, I must confess with shame that I was a strong Mayavadi and preacher only 22 years ago when ISKCON saved me. Yeah, that's true. Actually, Mayavadi Nirvishesha is there in all to some extent for all of us also. The tendency is there, not that we are Mayavadi, but the impersonal tendency and this voidism, the tendency is there for all of us a little bit, especially modern age. This is the standard. We cannot understand so easily, but slowly we identify. Yes, this is not. We need to be very personal. So whenever we are lacking this personal relation, personal things, that is all impersonal tendencies only. We have to deal with everything as a person, deities as person, other people also as person. People nowadays don't treat others as person also. They treat them as a machine or some other identity, some things. There is a problem. Anyway, so we'll just read few purports. The perfection of the parampara system or the path of disabling section is further confirmed in the previous chapter. It has been established that Brahmaji, the firstborn living being, received knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord, and the same knowledge was imparted to Narada, the next disciple. Narada asked to receive the knowledge, and Brahmaji imparted it upon being asked. Therefore, asking for transcendental knowledge from the right person, receiving it properly in the regulation of the disabled section. This passage is recommended in Bhagavad Gita. The inquisitive student must approach a qualified spiritual master by submissive inquiries, and service is more effective than knowledge received in exchange for money. This is very important. A spiritual master in the line of disabling succession from Brahma and Narada have no demands for dollars and cents. A bona fide student has to satisfy him by sincere service to obtain knowledge of the relation and nature of individual soul and super soul. It is not somebody by payment we cannot get knowledge. That is very important. We need to be submissive. Even in our class also now, to the degree we are submissive, to the degree we are receiving knowledge. That's all. Knowledge means it's a change in ourselves, change in the personality. To the degree we are submissive, we are changing our personality. When we hear from right person, otherwise if we hear from wrong, then that's another danger. If we are in right person and we are submissive, we need not pay anything. Payment is sincerity and submission. That's what Prabhupada is writing. Bona fide student has satisfied him by sincere service, and that is the payment we are giving to make progress. And he says, my dear father, Narada is asking, please describe actually the symptoms of this material world. What is the background? How it is created? How is it conserved? And under whose control is all this being done? Now, Prabhupada writes, the inquiries by Narada Muni on the basis of actual cause and effects appears very reasonable. The atheists, however, put forward many self-made theories without any touch of cause and effect. The material manifested world as well as the spirit soul is still unexplained by the godless atheists through the medium of experimental knowledge, although they have put forward many theories manufactured by their fertile brains. Contrary to such mental speculative theories of creation, however, Narada Muni wanted to know all the facts of creation in truth and not by theories. This is, you want to have realized knowledge. Prabhupada writes nicely, the transcendental knowledge regarding soul and super soul includes the knowledge of the phenomenal world and the basis of its creation. In the phenomenal world, three things are factually observed by any intelligent man: the living being, the manifested world, and the ultimate control of them. Very simple things. I can see myself, I am seeing material nature, and I am seeing something is organized and some intelligence should be there who is organizing all these things. The intelligent man can see that neither the living entity nor the phenomenal world are creations of chance. This symmetry of creation and its regulative actions and reactions suggests the plan of an intelligent brain behind them, and by genuine inquiry, one may find out the ultimate cause with the help of one who knows this. This is actually what is spiritual intelligence. Yeah, matter, spiritual, spirit, and controller. Now, this is where is the spiritual intelligence comes. Like Prabhuji was discussing logical intelligence, emotional intelligence, IQ, EQ, and SQ. The SQ, SQ is when we start asking question. Advantage for women is because they have emotional intelligence very high. Because of this, for them to accept authority becomes very easy. That's why so many women come for satsangs. Even our classes also, afternoon class, morning class, more name will be women only. Because they have this advantage. When they come to bhakti, they have this advantage of submission, and men have advantage of rational thinking. When man is rationally is convinced, for him to practice bhakti becomes very easy. He will be very intense. For women, because they are emotional, they are very submissive. And because of their submission, when they are told, okay, chant 16 rounds, do this, they can very nicely follow the regulations, and they can develop that emotion also for the Lord. That becomes very easy for them to develop emotions because they're already emotional. Instead of emotion for some nonsense serials and cinemas in the TV, they can develop that emotion for Krishna. When they serve the deities, they develop emotion. When they go to temple, they develop emotion. The question is, can we say women have more faith, hence more spiritual intelligence? It is not based on faith, it is based on submission. Like what happens if the women understand that this person is good, they immediately submit. They are actually little, they don't use logic there. That's why you see they go to many other babas also. They go to babas, they go to yogis, they go to other demigods, they do so many rituals because that is the psychophysical nature of them. They are submissive. But if you don't give them right thing, they vote for wrong people. They vote for wrong people. That is the problem. If they get Krishna consciousness, they are saved. Otherwise, all these women, now Ganpati is there. So they will go Ganpati. Now Navratri, they go there also. Everywhere they will go. Because they have that tendency to, because they have some insecurity. They say some higher power will protect my family, myself, and everything will be fine for me. So this tendency, if you can properly give them Krishna consciousness, then they for them it becomes very easy. For them, it's not a problem to follow these rituals. In the house, who protects the rituals? Women only protects the rituals. They will make sure that everybody is coming in front of the photos or whatever deities they kept. They'll make sure that everybody comes bow down, lit agarbatti, do something. They do, and they want their husband, children also to do. And then they will, in-laws will, daughter-in-law will come. She'll make sure that daughter-in-law is also understanding these are our family traditions. Who protects the traditions? Women only protect the traditions. And that is such women can quickly leave scholars if emotionally moved more by someone else. If they did not develop Shastra Yukti, now if they are not learning Shastra like this, then every chance that they will go to some other people also. If they say, yeah, you chant and you do this mantra also, you'll get some other benefit. They will go there also. They need to develop that exclusive faith on Krishna. Once they understood the Shastra, they develop the Shastra Yukti little bit, then they will not go. Otherwise, it's not only women, men will also go away. There is more chance for them because whoever gives shelter in that level, women will immediately take. But if you give them right, it is for them very easy in that way. For men, they need to very logically understand, get convinced, and takes time. But once they are convinced, they can also do it very fast because they don't have other problems of attachment. Women have problems of attachment. Men has little less. They are little less attached. Compare. Of course, I am just telling in general here and there, but it is there are so many in between gray shades also. Men are also who are very attached. Women are who are very detached. That is also there. But in general, this is what is the system that is there. That there for them both left and brain work together. but men either left or right. That means emotional part or rational part. Women can have both simultaneously working. That's why they are able to take care of children and other things. We have discussed this previously also. The point is, there is advantage for women when they come to a right person. If they go to wrong people, they are so much attached, and they are so much attached. Like every Sunday there is one nearby one some other organization, and they come and do kirtan. When I went just to see, they're so devotedly doing, and they are bogus guru and bogus kirtan. Everything is completely bogus. But when I saw they're so much devoted to it, I was only thinking, oh, if they could have come to Krishna consciousness, they would have become really good preachers. But there is no chance for them to come now. That is not possible only because they're so much emotionally attached there. But if the same people come to Krishna conscious, they get right thing. They are very powerful people. That is the difference. It is spiritual intelligence is uh, that's why they should get right thing. Anybody, men also, if they don't get logical answers, they'll never take to Krishna consciousness. Like yesterday, I went to one house and that Mataji also, she's very intelligent, very logical, and she don't want any emotional things. She want all logical answers. And that will make her to come to Krishna consciousness. Some people they just say, and her mother-in-law, she is very devotional. Mevala, you just chant Hare Krishna, she is ready. And this girl not. So some exceptions are there. I'm not just generalizing. People say that Hare Krishna people are more emotional and sentimental. Any devotional path, it looks like emotional and sentimental. But where is emotion sentimental? 2 hours we are sitting and reading Shastra only. It's so logically we are trying to understand. It is not emotional part. We are logically sitting. We are like Jnani sitting, and of course this is Bhakti Yukta Jnana. But it is Jnana only we are discussing. And any question you can ask. We'll never tell you to not ask question. And we want to prove everything logically. Where is the question of sentiment here? If I am telling about Saturn and I am telling about Moon, who is representing mother, who is representing father, and is strict, is emotional. These are logical only. Where is emotion in this? I am not telling if the class is like this, the emotional class will be like this. I'll tell. See, you should feel for Krishna. You should give your heart to Krishna. You should get tears when you chant the name of Krishna. You should always be crying for Krishna. This is what we should. If my class is like this, na, then we say you are emotional people. Where is emotion here? Hardcore. We are discussing such philosophy, and I'm adding only more to it. And Sukadev Goswami is asking, Parikshit Maharaj asking, tell me about creation. Where is emotion here? We are talking about creation, and he's quoting all these things. This is not emotion. Emotion is there, but we also try to develop that feeling, but based on the Shastra, we are developing, not just without knowing anything. We are knowing who is the cause of all causes. See the title of the chapter, cause of all causes, we know it properly. Then only we try to do it. Yeah, people say bhakti is emotion. Yes, Mataji.
Arashna Prabhuji, like generally Prabhuji, here we see many IITians, NITians, all doctors, many people, they left their profession and they are into devotion preaching, no Prabhuji. So regarding that only they used to like, because materialistic people, for them the highest is entering into IIT and earning in millions. So leaving everything, coming here, Hare Krishna, eating some prasad and like they couldn't even digest such, like they say it's a waste of like you all say, wasted IIT seat, many of you like, and you have wasted many things, and you just you want to get emotionally connect to God. That's what I meant, Prabhuji. They think like that. Materialist people think like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That we are wasting our profession.
Actually, I was giving answer in terms of other spiritual organizations. Yeah, you asked
Mm,
in terms of materialistic people. Yeah, materialistic
mm,
people think, but ultimately, if they, yeah, that is true also. For them to digest this, Arey, why you want to, they say where you are going? I say Vrindavan. They say already you went now many times. They say again why you are going? Go, why don't you go to
mm,
other some other new place and enjoy there?
mm,
Every year we want to go to Vrindavan. So it makes for them no sense. They say, why you are so sentimental about Vrindavan? Why don't you go to some other place to
mm.
visit? For them, they cannot really understand. That is true. They feel they are sentimental.
Yeah, Prabhuji, that's what my son used to ask. He's an
Um,
IITian
I
Prabhuji, like.
was I was answering in terms of Because even Mayavadis or Brahmavadis or other, they also feel that devotees are very sentimental. Yogis, Jnanis,
Oh,
they all feel devotees are sentimental. So I
mm,
was answering in their point of view. Yeah,
okay.
materialistic people, yeah, that is true. They also feel devotees are very sentimental, and that is their point of view. It is correct, but we work in terms of goal, the purpose. That's why there is a difference. Why?
Mm,
What is our motivation? What is our motive? Is that, yeah, the purpose of your working hard is to enjoy, and this is my way of enjoying. That's the only thing we
mm,
have to tell them. You say you feel
mm.
enjoyment in certain things. You feel enjoyment in your Netflix and Amazon Prime, or my pleasure is in this. So everybody is enjoying. So I have this type of enjoyment. Because when you say that I am having a highest enjoyment, they will not accept it. We have to tell them this is your way of enjoying, this is my way of enjoying. I feel more enjoyment like this, you feel enjoyment. So just do whatever you like, which
That's
makes you.
what my son also says. He's from IIT, Prabhuji. He's working now. He's telling, Mummy, you're enjoying here. I am enjoying there. Why do you want to say your enjoyment is the highest? That's
Yeah.
what he's asking. Yesterday, I was explaining, like, he came with a friend, Prabhuji. Like, I was explaining about Prashad. He was asking very interestingly. I said, Prashad. He said, Auntie, like, it is very nice. He said, I didn't know that there's no onion, no garlic. And he said, it's because Prashadam, it is tasty. And my son asked why, because the Lord is tasting it and giving it. And he's telling, Mommy, you're believing all these things, Mommy. Why have you become so sentimental? He's telling Prabhuji yesterday. That's what I said. Oh, he said, so they look at Prashadam.
No, no, no. You say, Arey, you are also sentimental. See, that is the
Mm.
definition. See, you say now he is IIT. From which field he is IIT? Which branch?
Maths and computing, Prabhuji. Maths and
Now
MNC.
you
Delhi,
say
IIT Delhi.
now,
Mm.
yeah. Now for him, if you ask him how much of you did you see quantums? You did not see them.
Mm.
Did you see electrons
Mm.
quantums? You didn't see them. Why are you believing?
Mm.
Are you not sentimental? Are you
Mm.
not
Mm.
sentimental in accepting whatever the science is saying? Because equally sentimental they are. Because they are also
Mm.
accepting. Why? What is their proof? They say because of technology they are accepting science. As a science,
Mm.
you are based on faith. But what happened with science is they have given some technology. That means they made laptop, they made some mobiles, they made these systems. Now they say we are giving you something because of our technology. Because of this science, you are getting technology and you are getting all these facilities. Even though now we are seeing, we did not see just all these things behind all the screen which we are seeing. It is only 0101 only. We don't see 0101, but it's all binary codes only. Now, we did not see many of the things, electron, protons, you didn't see. You didn't see many of
Mm.
the things
Mm.
which scientists are telling. Why are you so senti about scientists? Whatever they are saying, why are you believing it? Why don't you prove yourself?
Yeah.
That means they are
Correct.
also same thing. They are also equally sentimental. And
Mm.
you say that the distance between sun and earth is this much. You believe in it? They say yes. How? And we are also
Mm.
telling the same thing in Hanuman Chalisa. No, Sahasra Yojana Parabhanu. It's coming the same distance what scientists are telling. So we are also telling the same thing. When I accept Hanuman Chalisa, you say I am senti. When you are telling scientists have proved that this is a distance, you are telling it is science. But in both cases, you also did not prove yourself. I also did not prove myself. You are also accepting whatever scientists say. Did you take the telescope yourself? Did you do all the calculation yourself? You didn't do it. Why are you believing them? Is it not sentimental then? You are just putting blind.
Correct.
They also have equally blind faith. Many of the things now he read many of the books for making his engineering. Did he
Mm.
did he research all the things? No, he is
No.
accepting based on the research done by somebody else. He is
Mm.
also putting blind faith. Blind faith is in both the cases. In our case, we put faith on Shastra, they are putting faith on scientists. And
Correct. Correct.
Shastras, they don't change. Now, Shastra is telling you are not the body, spirit, soul. And I also did not see spirit, soul. You also did not see. You are saying it is
Mm.
not there. I am saying it is there. So both are theoretical only. You cannot
Mm.
prove that there is no soul. I cannot prove that there is no soul. There is soul. Both of us cannot prove. But we have to see which is more logical. So because I don't change, That's why I'm much more safer. Scientists, they'll change their formulas. Scientists, they'll change their stand. They say something today, tomorrow they'll say something. But Shastra don't change. So in that way, I am more safe because the knowledge which I am receiving is stable. But the science you are believing is always changing. So you are putting faith on science is much more, it is not reliable. Ours is more reliable.
Correct. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
I think we'll end here. I have no-